In the summer of 1943, as the world convulsed in the chaos of World War II, a whisper began to snake its way through naval corridors and smoky Philadelphia bars, a whisper about a ship that vanished into thin air. That ship was the USS Eldridge, a newly commissioned destroyer escort, and according to a story so bizarre it sounds like science fiction, the U.S. Navy wasn't just trying to cloak it from radar. They were attempting the unthinkable, making it invisible, perhaps even teleporting it through space and time. It began at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, where scientists allegedly worked under a veil of secrecy on something called the Project Rainbow, a name so innocuous it belied the monstrous ambition behind it. Rumors swirled that the project was rooted in the unified field theory, an unfinished brainchild of none other than Albert Einstein, seeking to merge electromagnetism and gravity to bend the very fabric of space. Witnesses, if they can be called that, claimed they saw greenish-blue fog enveloping the Eldridge on October 28th, followed by a blinding flash of light. The ship shimmered, then vanished. For minutes, or maybe longer, it was simply gone missing from both sight and radar, while dock workers screamed and sailors dropped their tools in horror. Moments later, the Eldridge reappeared, but not in Philadelphia. It had allegedly rematerialized hundreds of miles away in Norfolk, Virginia, before returning again, as if reality itself had hiccuped. Some said the metal was fused to human flesh. Others described crew members staggering off the deck, babbling nonsense, some vanishing into thin air days later, or phasing in and out of reality like ghosts trapped between worlds. One sailor reportedly walked through a wall in front of his terrified bunkmates. The Navy denied everything, of course. They still do. The official stance: no such experiment took place, no ship disappeared, and no teleportation was ever attempted. And yet, the rumors persist. A man named Carlos Allende, later revealed to be Carl Allen, sent letters in 1955 to UFO researcher Morris K. Jessup, detailing what he claimed to have seen, the ship's vanishing act, the government cover-up, and the broken men who lived to regret being part of it. Jessup, a respected astrophysicist and author, became obsessed, even as his peers dismissed Allende's story as the ramblings of a disturbed mind. But then came the annotated copy of Jessup's own book, The Case, for the UFO, filled with handwritten notes from three entities known only as Mr. AI, Mr. B, and Jemmy. These strange writings spoke of alien technologies, hidden science, and interdimensional travel, and were sent to the U.S. Navy. Strangely, the Navy printed and distributed copies of the annotated book, but only internally. Why would a military branch give any attention to a crank theory if it had no merit? And what about the logs that show the Eldridge was supposedly nowhere near Philadelphia at the time? Critics point to inconsistencies in the timeline, calling the whole story a hoax. But conspiracy theorists counter that it's exactly what you'd expect from a cover-up: conflicting records, erased logs, silence from the crew. Some sailors from the Eldridge later claimed nothing unusual happened. Others refused to speak altogether. And what of Jessup? Just 4 years after receiving Allende's letters, he was found dead in his car, engine running, hose duct taped to the exhaust pipe. Suicide, they said. But some claim he was silenced because he was getting too close to the truth. Today, the Philadelphia experiment lives in the shadows between science and myth, a chilling possibility that the government flirted with powers it couldn't control. If it happened, it means the military in 1943 may have cracked the code to interdimensional travel briefly, and then buried it under decades of secrecy. Was it time travel? Teleportation? A glitch in reality? Or just the fever dream of a troubled sailor and a scientist who went too far down the rabbit hole? We may never know. But ask the old-timers in Philadelphia, the ones who worked the shipyards or served in silence, and some will just shake their heads, their eyes clouding over with something that looks an awful lot like fear. And maybe, just maybe, they know something they're still too afraid to say out loud. After all, if a ship can disappear from one place and materialize in another, what else might be possible?